In this video, I go thrifting and I'm taking you along. It's a good idea to try to go thrifting early in the week because a lot of thrift stores restock over the weekend. That said, there are some thrift stores that I have almost zero luck at finding things, and others that I will hit the jackpot pretty regularly, especially when it comes to Goodwills. And recently, I found out the reason for that, or at least one of the reasons, and that is that some Goodwills, not all, are selling their big ticket or nicer items online, like on eBay or whatever, to get every penny possible and only using their stores for the less desirable items. I was curious about this lantern. I wondered if it was made with feet or if somebody added those later. If it were me, I'd probably take the feet off. I like the detail on this next piece. I think it's supposed to be a birdcage, but there's no trapdoor or, door on the side for it. It's still really pretty. And check out this basket. Is this not the perfect Easter shape? And then I just had to stop and show you one of the cutest little baskets I've ever seen. Probably the littlest one I've ever seen. It was 97 cents and it did come home with me. So it looks like someone tried to do a DIY with this and made it into a pin cushion. But as you can see, it easily came off, so I was just left admiring this cute little set. There's a lot of ways to decorate with these for spring, and we'll talk more about that later in this video. Swans have become a bit of a thing right now in decorating, so this one definitely caught my eye. Now I don't mean to confuse you because here I am looking at baskets again, but this video clip is a combination of more than one thrift store. The big basket was over $15 and this littler one was still over $10. And I don't understand why some of these thrift stores are overpricing their baskets so much, so those definitely stayed behind. Now I considered doing a DIY on this vase, but I thought it might be still a little too modern for my decor. But it was love at first sight with this vase. I love the shape of it. It was $7.50. I know that isn't a really great thrift store price, but I couldn't leave it, so that one definitely came home with me. Spoiler alert. I guess there's no point in saying spoiler alert when I've already let the cat out of the bag. More baskets, not just for spring decorating and egg hunting, but for gifting. Just a couple of ideas for this. Besides using it for a candle holder, you could fill it with cotton balls or small bars of soap and display it on a bathroom shelf, or you could use it for a party as a centerpiece to hold fruit kebabs. I will never understand the drastic difference in pricing at thrift stores. Same store, the flowered pitcher on the left is 25 cents and the one on the right is $3.50. Have you run across this? I mean, make it make sense. I reached this store just as they were closing and saw this lantern, so I rushed right over to it because I've been looking for a wider lantern, but because I was rushed for time, I missed an issue about it, and you'll find out more about that later on because it did come home with me. These flowers looked a little dingy, but sometimes you can perk them up with a little washing or even some vinegar. I had a DIY in mind for this lamp. I even carried it to the desk, and then when I got there, I saw a couple dents on the other side that I hadn't noticed, so I changed my mind. And next we'll move on to the haul and the styling portion of this video. So I have 10 things to show you that I picked up from different thrift stores. And as you can see, I'm still enjoying my Valentine's Day tree. I wonder if you can hear the wind howling outside. It has been crazy windy today. Everything's blowing around. Fortunately, my kittens are all safe in the shed, the big pole shed. They have everything that they need and I don't have to worry about them. We had one of our kittens from the litter that we rescued last year, so he's not really a kitten anymore. He's getting bigger and they start to want to sow their wild oats, I guess. He took off for 2 nights. For 2 nights, I worried about him. And then this morning, when my husband walked out the door to go to work, next thing I know, I heard a noise, and of course I thought he had gone to work. I heard the bedroom door open, and I looked through tired eyes, and there's my husband holding Chase. He didn't say a word. He just looked at me and smiled. And I'm like, oh, I'm so glad he's home. And my husband said, oh, I had to show you that he came home because I knew that you were worried. So I said, well, go and get him something to eat. So we did. We gave him some of last night's roast beef dinner. And my husband said, we probably shouldn't be giving him roast beef. He might think that he should get this every time he takes off and comes home. But he loved it. He dove right in. And so anyway, I know I shouldn't worry so much about my cats, but I just do. So let's get started on the haul. The first item I'm going to show you is, and I've already put matches inside of it, but it's this tea light holder. I think that's what this is supposed to be. It was only a quarter, but I just thought it would be a really pretty item to use to hold matches. Kind of similar to the shape of those little match cloches that they have, but a whole lot cheaper, obviously. And as you can see, I put the little striker on the bottom. Those come with the matches. These decorative matches, by the way, are found on Amazon. They have all different colors, and I just think they're so pretty. I'm going to show you how I styled this and also share with you a few ideas on how to balance your decor. One rule of thumb in decorating is sometimes referred to as the rule of threes. You start with a taller piece, a medium piece or section in this case, since the books and tray are stacked together, and then a shorter piece. This forces the eye in a circle, which draws interest and provides balance. And of course, a variety of textures creates interest as well. More about that in a bit. The next item is this wrought iron candle holder. Now this was $4.99 and it has quite a lot of weight to it. I think it reminds me of something you might find in a medieval castle. I don't know anything about castles, but that's what it reminds me of. And I'm going to show you how I styled this on my entryway table. Styling a single candle holder alone can be challenging. In this case, I have closely grouped it in a cluster of 3 things. I've also purposely set the picture beside it at an angle, which helps to fill in the space another candle would have provided, giving balance. Of course, angled books or a decorative box would work too. All right, next up is the most expensive item in my thrift haul, and that is this vase. It was $7.50. It's not perfect. I could probably use a paint job, but I love the curves on it. I love the size of it. Walmart has a vase like this. It's a similar shape to this. This is a little bit smaller, so I'll put a picture up to show you a comparison of the two. I'm going to show you how I styled this on my shelf. When I wish to display a vase like this on a shelf where there's not a lot of headspace, I like to use trailing greenery. Plus, it makes such a nice statement. Okay, the next thing is this teacup set. This was $1, and I just think it's so pretty. Now, you may have seen people style little nests, tuck little nests inside of the little teacups for spring. I think that's really pretty. Another way to style these is in your kitchen canisters. They use these as a pretty scoop for like cottage type decor. And now I'm going to show you one more way to style teacups for spring. This is how I styled my new teacup set on some coffee table books. The only thing that would make this arrangement prettier is if I had a glass cloche large enough to go over the top. Teacups are another classic cottagey item that will never go out of style, and you can find so many cute sets at the thrift store. Next up is a very classic item for spring, and that is a birdcage. I like the whitewash look of this and the scroll work. It's very shabby chic, and you'll see how I styled it in this clip. I will tell you that the hole is fairly small, and so it was a bit of a hassle to be able to stick the things up to style it. But anyway, I'll show you how I styled it. This arrangement keeps with the rule of threes by varying the heights of the items, but also there's a variety of textures, shapes, and materials. There's some metal, some ceramic, some books, as well as some greenery to soften the look and pull it all together. Now, this next item was not found in the video clip that I showed in front of this video. However, it did get into the video clip from the last thrifting video, but I never showed it in the haul because I wanted to style it for spring. So this was $1.49, and I like the shape of it because it almost makes a vase type of idea for spring, and that's how I styled it in front of my fireplace hearth. As you can see, I've styled my basket with 3 sedum stems. They're from the Hearth and Hand spring line from Target. So I know that this is an early spring video, and so we're not really thinking Easter, and I understand that, believe me. However, because this is such an Easter shape, I went ahead and styled it with a bunny. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how I styled it. I styled my basket with a bunny on a bed of greenery. I love this greenery. In fact, I use it every spring. It isn't silver, but it's called Silver Falls, and it's from Hobby Lobby. In fact, you might remember I used it a lot in my spring dough bowl video from quite a while ago. Okay, now you might remember in the video I told you that I had found this lantern at a thrift store just as they were closing, so I didn't have a whole lot of time to look at it. So there was a piece of tape that was holding the door shut, which I just kind of thought, oh, they probably did that so that it wouldn't come open. But yeah, they did that so it wouldn't come open because it's broken. So I have yet to figure out how to fix this. I'm going to hold it up so you can see what I'm talking about. There is this little rod that's supposed to slide into a pocket, but the pocket must have broken off right here. I was looking for a lantern that was wide enough to be able to fit a vignette in it, like a terrarium type of thing. So I went ahead and styled this, and I did a little trick to make it stay shut, at least for the video, and I guess it works. But if you have any ideas on how to fix this, I'd love to know. It was $4.50, by the way. So let's cut away to how I styled this. Classic lanterns like this are always a great investment because they can be restyled for multiple seasons. In this first frame, I've styled a little vignette inside the lantern with a bunny. Because of the broken door, I'm styling the lantern next to a candle, so the candle snuffer looks like it belongs, but it's actually holding the door closed. And of course, you could switch out the bunny for a bird if you would prefer that for early spring decorating. Personally, I think either one works. I should have showed these before the clip, but $1.20. This was found at the same thrift store that I found the lantern at, and as you saw in the last clip, I styled these together. Last but not least, I did go ahead and get the Swan. This was $1.97, and it's kind of small, like the opening is kind of small here, so I wasn't really sure what to put inside of it. But what I decided to do with it is to kind of use it like a planter on my bathroom shelf. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how that looks. Swans are often associated with cottagecore design, which is very popular right now. I dug out some of my faux succulents and tucked them into this swan, and I just think this is such a fresh, polished look for a bathroom. Picture my video as a boat going down the slow river called the algorithm. And when you click the like, that's like adding another paddle that helps push it down a little faster. So thank you so much for doing that. And the other thing is, I have been working really hard on my early spring kitchen video. I don't know if that's going to be next, but it's coming. I might do a video in between. We'll see. But that's all I have for you today. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel and you're interested in home decor or homemaking, I'd love to have you. That's all I have. Thanks so much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and as always, stay thankful.